To begin, I'm happy to be welcoming everybody here today. Thank you very much to the organizers of today's event. Wonderful environment, a great quantity and quality of speakers. We are, of course, waiting some other guests to join us. It is related to the fact that we are having the highest guests visiting the exhibit, so we will be having more colleagues joining us. The session today is called Industrial Dialogue Russia Tajikistan. That's part of the 15th International Economic Forum Russia Islamic World Kazan Forum 2024. Despite the fact that this is the first time we are taking part in such a format, outside of the capitals, with their high delegations of Ministry of Industry and Trade of the Russian Federation, such a wide spectrum of speakers, I believe that this panel would allow our expert to exchange opinions and contribute further into further development of Russia-Tajikistan relations. I'd like to start the presentation with some brief figures, which might not seem that big in absolute figures, but as part of the development of Russia-Tajikistan relationships, that is quite a big success. Within 24 years that I have been a trade representative, we have increased from less than $1 billion to 1.7 now. And beginning 2007, Russia is keeping the main trade partner of Tajikistan position, despite all the crises, events, we managed to keep the bilateral dynamics of our trade turnover. 2023 has been completed with a significant growth as well. 2026 are declared the 5 years of the rapid increase of industrial development, the task of to increase 3.5 times. Mining sector, renewables are a priority. These topics will be covered in the session as well. I'd like to draw your attention to the fact that we are valuing our leading positions. We are interested to keep doing everything possible to keep leading positions. Even we understand that catching up is always simpler, but we are first, and we are having plans for rapid development, and the colleagues will be sharing. We will be working together on all areas, and the achieved results was possible thanks to the all-round support of the Tajikistan Ministry of Science and Technologies, and additional priorities are offered to Russian businesses, free trade zones. There are 5 of them located around the perimeter of the country, and their tenants are just paying income tax and social taxes. These are significant preferences. These and other preferences are promoting localization as well as creation of new joint ventures in the Republic. Today I would like to invite our first speaker, the session Deputy Minister of Trade and Industry of Tajikistan, Mr. Aziz Navzali, who was unfortunately not able to be present here with us himself in person. He'll be joining us over video conference. Mr. Aziz Nazar, welcome. Good afternoon. Thank you, dear Evgeny Anatolievich, dear colleagues. Dear colleagues in Russia and Tajikistan, first of all, I'd like to express our gratitude for the chance to be taking part in such an important event. Russia and Tajikistan have very long relations based on mutual contacts that are promoting this in the modern world. In today's world, we are very much in contact with one another. Tajikistan is doing active work on implementation of measures directed at development of comfortable entrepreneurial environment, shaping new advantages, making sure that we are having effective economy in cooperation with small and medium enterprises, as well as improving investment climate. Tajikistan today is an attractive investment platform for all of our distinguished colleagues and Russian companies. Our stable political environment, as well as support of foreign investors at the state level, availability of free economic zones with very attractive taxation and custom duties that are offered by our legislation, together with a key support measure of Tajikistan, that's a law on investments giving specific preferences to investors and giving various conditions here in Tajikistan attractive. It's important that over the course of last year, our mutual turnover has been growing, continued to be growing. That was underlined by Mr. Korenkov. Over $1,715 million US dollars. In the first quarter, it has reached over $1,780 million US dollars. Speaking about our bilateral relations, at the same time, we are seeing great potential for further improvements of our trade turnover. We are ready to be cooperating with the Russian companies interested in investing into Tajikistan, providing them with all the necessary support to continue developing economic projects in our country. Examples were already quoted by Mr. Korenkov. And within the last few years, we have also seen a number of achievements working our enterprises in extraction as well, mining, extraction, as well as processing various metals and nuclear medicine, recultivation of various storage, uranium storage locations, small nuclear power plants in Tajikistan, as well as discussion opening of the first Russia-Tajikistan industrial park in Dushanbe, which means that the cooperation between our countries is coming to a new level. And then, of course, we are looking at work in different fields. In this regard, I would like to invite Russian companies to be more actively participating in the growing economy of Tajikistan, increasing their economic activities. There are new highs that we can achieve together in aspect of trade. And of course, dear colleagues, I am expressing my confidence that as a result of today's discussions on key topics of bilateral relations, we will be able to disclose new opportunities for the implementation of various industrial projects, keeping in mind sustainable technological development. I wish all the participants fruitful work. Thank you very much, dear Aziz Nazar, for such a brief but deep presentation. I know Aziz is a wonderful speaker who can have a lot to share, but today he has spoken quite well. We would like to hear today our colleagues present here, expert speakers that would be able to speak and talk about all the disclose all the spectrum of interaction between our countries. Thank you very much, Aziz Nazar. I'd like to state the industrial partnership for Russia-Tajikistan is one of the most important components. Growing Russian businesses presence in Tajikistan. I'd like to state that 2020 through 67 region subjects of the Russian Federation had trade with Tajikistan, and the top 10 were having almost 70% of turnover as a result of 2023. Republic of Tatarstan has covered almost 5% of total export and has entered top 10. It's important to note that we are having interesting projects that we are proud of, and with the participation of Republic of Tatarstan, the company Energorazvitye has applied diesel generators as part of the project and material technical provision of Russia, Tajikistan, schools in Dushanbe, Khulat, and others. Implementation of tires are Tatarstan tires are being active. Tatneft is supplying fuel, and in the period of 2023 through 2025, a set of measures is to be implemented for the development of KAMAZ Center, truck manufacturers center there, as well as Tatkim Farm Preparati, pharmaceutical producer is thinking about development of their activities in Tajikistan. Keeping in mind the potential of Tatarstan, the potential of cooperation is already at very good level as of today, and shows great potential for moving forward. I'd like to give the floor to Mr. Lerner Germanyanovich to speak about the. Thank you very much, dear those present, and Mr. Aziz Nazar, whom I hope keeps on listening to us over video. I am happy to be welcoming all of you here in the Republic of Tatarstan at the 15th. I could call it an anniversary forum of Russia Islamic World Kazan Forum 2024, and since last year, in line with the decree of the president of our country, this forum has the status of federal significance, and we are seeing an annual growth in number of participants. This year, they have amounted to about 20,000, over 80 countries. Almost all region subjects of the Russian Federation this year are taking part, which is indeed pleasant. This forum, we are having participation of many important guests, and in my opinion, I believe the greatest achievement of such events is that you can meet in person those whom it's difficult to contact in real life through 10 or 15 various aids. There's lots of receptions. You can be seeing a Minister of Industry of Oman, United Arab Emirates of Bahrain. In this regard, from the point of view of communications, various activities, that's a wonderful opportunity that we are having. Coming back to the topic of our conversation, first of all, I'd like to express the words of gratitude to the trade representative of the Russian Federation, Evgeny Anatolyevich, to you. Thank you very much for the opportunity to organize this event. We know that Tatarstan is giving great importance to the development of contacts with Tajikistan as part of Russia-Tajikistan cooperation, and we are interested in the development of our contacts. I would like to note positive dynamic in the development of relationship with our partners. Mutual visits are important. You might remember that at the inaugural opening of Games of the Future 2024 taking place here in Kazan first, that's a new format of Games of the Future. We had a visit of the president of Tajikistan, Mr. Emomali Rahman. That was the first, that was in February of current year. Speaking about economic relationships with Tajikistan, Tatarstan is showing sustainable growth, and compared to 2022, our turnover has grown, amounting to $37 million. Very, very low figure that in no way is disclosing the potential that there is for trade turnover between our countries.
Such companies as my colleagues said, Tatneft, Tatshina, KAMAZ, medical instruments. They work very actively with the Tajikistan, Kamaz ships, spare parts and trucks, the Tatneft exports, diesel fuel. In September, Rosmedicina opened a medical center in Medical University named after Ibn Sina. It was equipped with our equipment, and we're very glad that the company is planning to continue the partnership in this area. And we shipped also the generators to a number of schools in Tajikistan, in Dushanbe, Kulab, Tursunzade. Tatarstan is developing cooperation in different directions, humanitarian, technical. In our republic, we have about 1,000 students from Tajikistan, and in Tajikistan, we have about 15,000 Tatars. I know that Tajikistan develops technological parks. We are ready to share our experience with Tajikistan. We support organization of the joint industrial park under the umbrella of the Ministry of Industry, Republic of Tatarstan, Ministry of Trade, Russian Federation, and the Himgrad Technopark, with the successful experience of such projects in Uzbekistan. Nowadays, we opened 2 of these industrial parks, and 2 of them are being developed, and I'm sure that such product can be in Tajikistan, and we're sure it will be successful. In January, our delegation took part in a working visit of Minpромtorg, international cooperation, licensing, and foreign trade of Republic of Tajikistan. And during this visit, we visited our potential partners and the construction site, and we studied the existing infrastructure. We also discussed our future of our development. In the end of May, pharmaceutical companies will go to Tajikistan to discuss the establishing joint venture, and I'm sure we will find mutually beneficial options and ways how to cooperate. And Tatarstan is ready to work in all possible directions, and we are supported by the by the Tajikistan government, and we recently organized a very important site where we invite Tatarstan companies who either already work with Tajikistan or want to establish such contacts, and we had very good positive feedback from this. More than 30 companies got support of their projects in Tajikistan, and I believe that you will have new one as well in the end of May. So I'm very glad to work our joint work, and I hope that our cooperation will be very fruitful. Thank you. Thank you very much, German. As for this kind of initiative of Republic of Tatarstan, we see that you see, we have organized already several business visits of different delegations, Tajikistan, and the reciprocal visit, and so of course we see this joint work, we see the results of this activity. We believe that you and your region will be the driver in different areas, so that will ensure that we'll be able to do it. Of course, you can always rely on us, and just thank you very much again. For Russian business, it's important to have a comfortable environment, and joint project, of course, must be stimulated by the banking support, and we consider different financial instruments from the Russian experts and insurance, providing special kind of financing. And maybe you don't know, but Republic of Tajikistan for a long time, more than 6 years, was closed for financing, and from 2018 and in August of 1923 we settled down this issue, and now we have such opportunity to open a credit line to implement this project in this kind of region. And as for the financial support, I would like to ask my next speaker, the head of the financial projects, so our Jabarin and Jabola. Well, first of all, let me thank organizers of this forum. So this is not first time when we come here, and every year I see that the interest is growing towards the cooperation with Islamic countries. So that is why thank you again for our colleagues in the Republic of Tatarstan for your hospitality, for the level of support which you provide. So thank you very much for your assistance, and thank you very much from the trade the representative office, and our company RES has been working for a long time with Republic of Tatarstan and in Tajikistan. In Dushanbe we have about 6 or 7 years we have had our office, our representative office. Just for your information, I can say that our representative is in business center. We have our representative there, Zarif, and he is ready to work and speak and work with your partners, and of course provide any kind of help. As I said, the REDS group is interested very much to work with the Republic, with the local businesses, and yes, we did have some time when we couldn't use all our support mechanisms and financial mechanisms, but now it's getting better, and in spite of this, and we worked very, very successfully with Tajikistan, and we're talking about business missions, exhibition, different subsidies and everything and so on. And of course our colleagues from our Tajik community work very closely with the trade representative of Russian Federation, and of course it always shows us results and provides us with necessary support. If we speak about the specific numbers which we managed to get, which we managed to achieve during the first quarter of the 2024. So we were able to support 67 Russian exporters from different regions of Russian Federation, in Tatarstan, in Moscow, St. Petersburg, and we did manage to reach some good results. Yes, the numbers are not so big, but I'm sure that taking into account these complications and challenges which we have anyway, we'll be able to work better. We are optimistic about futures for the insurance. As for the support, financial assistance, here we work very actively, and among our speakers we have our colleagues from Talco, who together with the Russian exporter Cartex, they export electrolytics, and we are considering the financial support from Bank, and we hope that this project will be driver which will close, which will open doors for many other our suppliers. And of course this volume of the exports, of course it will grow more and more. As I told you, as for the non-financial activity, we traditionally worked very closely with Tatarstan Republic. I have just heard that the Republic of Tatarstan is planning business mission at the end of May. It's very interesting, but the Russian Expo Center, within its mandate and activity, does plan some business missions in the middle of in the area of agriculture, medical services, any kind of businesses. If I remember, more than 35% from our center will take part in this visit, and I hope that this visit will become some kind of an impulse to improving and more closer integration of our countries into each other, and we as experts will be able, together with our colleagues from trade mission, and maybe even work with some other companies from Russian Federation and Tatarstan, and we will provide assistance and support to all interested parties when it comes to the cooperation between Russia and Tajikistan. So let me just invite you again to our business mission force, and we will in Central Office always get ready to help, so that this event become very useful for our Tajik partners and also for our Russian experts as well. Well, thank you very much all, and and I'm very glad to be here, take part in it. And I hope that my story was not very short and useful, and if you have any questions, do please ask me. Yes, I support this wholeheartedly, and I hope that with the help of this center, with its support, we will get to the new levels. For us, it's very important to get momentum, and in Tajikistan they had a lot of questions about instruments of support, and now I think we have a pilot projects which you've just said, and our colleague Pavel Ivanovich will tell about it. And we think that it will be some kind of a significant project. It's quite big for our region, and if it's a first experience, well, I can imagine how useful will be supportive. So that is why, if you want to join us in this event and business mission, it's in Tajikistan beginning of June, so we provide all possible support, and so this visit will be for the first time, and for the first 5 years. So it's for them, for the 5 years, it's one of the biggest one. Well, thank you very much, and we hope for your support. We really need it. So according to our program of the accelerated development, so it's technological parks are considered very important, different technoparks, based on which, through foreign investment, we plan to organize joint ventures with the advanced technologies. Russia, as a country which has developed technology, can provide with any kind of resources for industry in Tajikistan, and of course it will help the developed country and decrease dependence on import. So we all understand that Tajikistan is going through some changes in its industry and economy. So they have a challenge with the localization of the industry, so they have a lot of changes in the taxation, and and of course organizing industrial park with Russia is very promising idea. It's just exact time for it, and if you have it, you have these competencies. We have Russian companies which can organize it, and it can be a very important step for the development of economies for our country. So we talked about it, and the first park in Tajikistan was already created. Let me give floor to the Himgrad director, Arat Gizatulin. Thank you very much. Thank you for the possibility to talk about this work, what we're doing, Minister of Trade, and so on, what we're doing in Tajikistan. And thank you very much, the colleagues, that you found time to be here, and I hope that it'll be useful for you for our joint projects of Minister of Tajikistan. And I represent Technopolis Direct. I'm director of Himgrad. It was organized in 2006, and it is in Kazan. It's an industrial park, one of the first one in Russian Federation, aimed on working with a small and medium business, which involved in the small tonnage chemistry and polymer processing. So we already produced products for the 80 billion rubles. We have more than 10,000 jobs. And we have accommodated 371 companies. These are companies, not only the companies who work with the chemical businesses, also medical instruments, the waste recycling, machine building, instrumental building, and the spectrum is pretty broad. And we came to the conclusion that it's important to give our residents possibility to go to the export markets. So, keeping this in mind, in 2018 we started working with Uzbekistan, and in 2023 we opened 2 technoparks, which are based upon these sites. We produce different medical equipment, medical device, plant biological protection. It's quite a lot. And first of all, these are the companies with which we worked here in Tatarstan, and now it's a lot of companies from other regions of Russian Federation are here. Well, this is the experience which turned out to be very useful for our residents, for small companies, because big corporations can implement international projects, but for the companies with which we work, entering the international market was the first experience, and of course implementation of these projects requires special support, special attention, and we did it. We provided this kind of, and we understand that the presence of Russian business in the Central Asia countries has a very promising potential. At the same time, it has a very good support from our partners, and we moved on, and we, according to the agreement with Rais of Republic of Tatarstan, and after the President Rakhmonov here, so we agreed that we will create this kind of industrial park in the Republic of Tajikistan. Well, of course, the idea of this project is that we have to implement 3 main ideas. Well, first of all, to get to Tajikistan market, and Tajikistan population is growing, so people live better. Of course, the consumption is growing as well, and this is the additional possibility for Russian companies to get the market niche in Tajikistan. And of course, second one is using the raw material and labor potential in the Republic of Tajikistan. And they have a lot of raw materials in Tajikistan, but not a lot of value added in processing. So as for the labor potential, labor force, it's a very serious issue, serious problem, and now in this forum we have discussed this issue. And of course, the deficit of jobs, of personnel, not possible to compensate through the labor migration.
On top of that, we have to admit that we are not capable of creating comfortable enough state of opportunity for them to stay comfortably far away from home. Of course, they would have been much more effective if they would have been working in the territory where they are residing, thus bringing together this both energy potential, natural resources, as well as labor resources that Tajikistan has. We believe that would help us a local create efficiencies by producing products there and importing them into Russian Federation. That seemed attractive. Of course, you would have to be, of course, doing a lot of training on site. At the same time, there are quite positive elements in Uzbekistan and GZ. For example, we are having a branch of Kazan Federal University, and we believe that there is positive experience. It's all we need to be spreading it to new territories, as well as Tajikistan having very good geographic position. It has great potential for exporting products in the country, in the nearby countries. And based on our experience in Uzbekistan, for example, we see that from our site in Cherchik, 30% of products produced there as a result of 2023 was exported into nearby countries. So that is a working mechanism, and we believe that the potential is not fully used. We had that idea. We came to the Ministry of Industry and New Technologies. We have found a respective response and support, and so our task next is to use the existing mechanisms in place for economic zones mode, etc., etc. A number of special economic zones. They are having modern engineering transportation infrastructure. So in that regard, we are ready to be bringing our experience of more than 20 years of 20 years of Russian Federation. We can bring and be offering that to our tenants that are used to certain standard of quality that they are meeting in industrial parks here. So what we offer is that we believe that for the development of small key projects is offering all-around service on development and localization of production companies. The market of Tajikistan is important, that the managing companies creating comfortable environments that exist in great many regions of the Russian Federation, so that we can offer identical service to great many companies. On top of that, based on our experience of working in Uzbekistan, we feel that the service should be enlarged. Basic business services, working with local financial institutions, helping obtaining financing, measures of state support be the ones implemented at the territory of the Russian Federation, as well as the ones there are in the Republic of Tajikistan, as well as, our task is to use the tools we have in place directed at promoting exports to direct them at promoting this project. It's clear that it's important for us to develop base conditions, and under that we understand the proper logistical localization of the industrial park, as well as the reliable infrastructure that allows providing power and everything else that companies need. Another effect that we have achieved in the Republic of Uzbekistan, and what we feel it's important to be developing in Tajikistan, is that on top, within the special industrial parks that we are creating, it's important that we have ready-made industrial facilities that are pre-built, prefabricated, because small and medium enterprises are not ready to come into the long-term serious funding projects of the territories where you don't have established practices environment. That is challenging already in the Russian Federation, but when they are coming to new market with a different regulation, different environment, it's important that we can offer them ready-made localization spaces to the companies from the Russian Federation. We have developed perspective standard. We are building such facilities here in Tajikistan beginning in year 2009, so we are ready to design rapidly and transfer to our Tajikistani business partners all the business experience that we have accumulated so far to be able to produce large number of facilities. They are quite, one size fits all, we can say, at the construction stages, but that helps you locating then different businesses that can come and implement a diversity of processes. Another element that I have reported to you, we are having many enterprises that are coming into the new markets are looking for help to find partners at new markets. That's about industrial cooperation. That's about network of sales and other state support measures that can be implemented. And for example, together with our Uzbekistani partners, we came up with a number of proposals on new measures that have not yet been implemented in Uzbekistan, based on our experience and practices from the Russian Federation. And that experience was accepted positively in Uzbekistan, so we believe that we could jointly with partners from federal executive bodies of the Russian Federation can introduce respective measures of support small and medium businesses in Tajikistan as well. And concluding my presentation, I would say that as of today, we have looked at great diversity of sites in Tajikistan. We are looking into the future with great hope. We do hope that this project will get materialize in the coming future with thanks to political support of the distinguished presidents of the Russian Federation and the Republic of Tajikistan, and based on our experiences that we have at demonstration business missions when we are demonstrating advantages to small and medium enterprises, the opportunities they can get exposed to, they can get to when they are coming into Tajikistan market and localizing their process there. We believe that can give an additional incentive. We have already developed preliminary agreements on the distribution of functionality and the development of industrial park. Plus, we are looking forward to the support of the federal executive bodies, first and foremost Ministry of Industry and Trade. Socioeconomic effect that can be achieved within the implementation of such a project is clearly covering all the costs that people can various costs that the respective businesses can would have to shoulder. Thank you very much, sir. On top of the Mr. Gazatulin, on top of the experience that you have, you are actually demonstrating advantages that possibly might not have been noticeable in immediately, and what would be made visible by introducing this new solutions into the process. Yes, the work is continuing. The Minister of Trade and Industry of Russian Federation and respective Ministry of Tajikistan are working, and your great experience is very valuable for the Republic of Tajikistan for the implementation of such projects. So thank you very much for our presentation, as well as the work that you are conducting in Tajikistan. Hydropower today is the main energy source of Tajikistan, and in line with the plan. Tajikistan is 8th around the world in its hydropower potential, but uses only 4 to 5%. The country has 12 large and medium and about 300 small hydropower plants. The main part of the energy generation is hydropower companies. Most of them are joint ventures. One of the largest players on the market of Tajikistan is a Russia-Tajikistan enterprise. Sanduni hydropower plant that is generating about 12% of energy of the country. That's a large investment project that started back in 2008 on the initiation of the presidents, but on top of the hydropower plants, the government of Tajikistan is beginning to pay greater and greater attention to the development of renewable sources of energy. The authorities are aspiring to increase the share of renewable sources of energy, and by year 2030, the share of renewables is to be brought up to 30%. At the moment, it is taking 1-2%. That's quite a low level. So with the objective of a wider description of the topic, implementation of Russian projects at the territory, I'd like to pass on the floor to the next speaker, the head of business development department of Nova Wind, a joint stock company, Mr. Dmitry Rodionov, an expert on wind power. A great experience working in this dimension, and I'm quite confident that this experience, knowledge, and competencies that they are implementing in the Russian Federation by this very company, and visible 100% in regulatory, in law, in in standard definition, would be very valuable for the Republic of Tajikistan as well. Thank you very much, dear colleagues. I would kindly request Ayrat Mansurovich to pass on the clicker, because I did prepare a presentation as well. Good afternoon, dear colleagues. I would, of course, have to say thank you very much to both the organizers of the forum and the session. Special thanks for the possibility to be taking part here as a speaker. And my presentation will be built around power generation, renewables in particular. In briefly about Nova Wind company. Nova Wind is 100% owned Rosatom company, the respective high wind power division. The company as of today has built over 1 gigawatt, 1.7 of the over 1 gigawatts are operational. The portfolio is 1.7, so you see 1.1 gigawatt is actually more than one, and demonstrated in the presentation. And since recently, the company is responsible for overall renewable energy within the division, so including also solar and small and medium generation. So if you soon hear about Rosatom renewable energy, keep in mind that this is that very same Nova Wind. Our key business model is a developer. Even though we are producing equipment ourselves, we are providing services. A key service product of ours is actually a build wind power generation unit, and the respectively electricity that is being supported into the grid. Let me start with analyzing the energy system of the Republic of Tajikistan. Mainly hydropower. It takes 87%. But the strategy of Tajikistan renewable green economy from 2020 through 27 and 2030, share of sun and wind is there 2023-2037. And it's expected that by the end of that period, the share of renewables is to increase by 10%. It's important to know that at the moment the country is having a deficit over 1 billion kilowatt hours, because the majority, and since the majority of power generation is done by means of water, which is decreasing in the fall and winter, lowering the water levels in fall and winter, loss of energy in the power grids. The government is forced to be introducing power consumption limits, which can, of course, be avoided by introducing diversification and using rich natural resources. The wind potential of Tajikistan is great. It's from 30 to 100 billion kilowatt hours a year. To understand this amount equals to the installed capacity of wind generation from 10 to 50 gigawatt. But as of today, the country only has one small wind power generation unit of 5 megawatts, so great prospects. Let me give you some advantages of wind power generation units for Tajikistan. First and foremost, peaks of the on the lower right, you see that the peaks are at the months in the fall and winter where the hydropower plants are showing lower indicators. Wind power generation depends on the availability of wind, so it's unstable, and the great number of hydropower plants is allowing it to smooth the figures and provide the stability of power generation. And secondly, wind power generation units are being built quite quicker than compared to the hydropower plants as well. I would reiterate that the government of the Republic of Tajikistan is seeing the effect as positively, and that 10% bar is expected to be reached by the end of that period. Having done the analysis, we have discovered mutually beneficial, attractive possibilities for both Tajik and Russian parties, and Novint offered its support to the Republic of Tajikistan in this dimension, being a company that has mastered the full cycle of wind farms. Beginning with the regulatory documentations, construction, and operating respective wind farms. We are seeing opportunity, we are seeing an interest of construction of wind farms with a capacity of up to 1 gigawatt. That is an ambitious figure, above 10%, but that's quite a large bar for a horizon of maybe some 10 years. We understand that to be decomposed to smaller projects with a capacity of 100, 150 to 100 megawatts, etc. Unfortunately, as of the moment, we are at the starting stages. I can't be speaking about the specific sites or time frames, speaking about Tajikistan particularly, but I hope that in the near future we will be able to build proper communication with the Ministry of Power Generation of the Republic of Tajikistan and set a proper vector for the joint work of ours. It's important to note that the key for successful mutually beneficial cooperation is always the effect of synergy, long-term partnership relations with counter-agents. We as Novint understand that well. And so we are ready to be proposing our partners some flexible proposals on the development of energy systems. And if we take a look at the building some wind farm, we are of course interested to see a win-win situation. When doing construction, we are ready to be bringing local companies at various stages. We are ready and interested to be attracting local staff at the practical operations stages, certainly training them and passing our experience as well as functions. Speaking about the using developer business model, it foresees construction and operation of the station, and return on investment is done by means of selling power. We are making our proposal in a way that we are ready to come into the market independently, addressing all the issues, look and attract financing with our own as equity as well as in debt to implement the projects.
And on the left side, you see that we have our own equipment production, which is in Russia. and main equipment and auxiliary equipment. But when we implement the project, of course, we first of all think about the efficiency, and so that is why we have organized quite broad range of different proposals and options based on our equipment and based on the equipment of our partners, which can be used where you have different winds, where you have more intensive winds, so we can offer 5-7 kilowatts turbines, and this kind of flexible approach allows us to shape up the project in the most efficient way and beneficial for both sides. So that's where the way we approach to our business model. So to sum up, as a Nova Wind company, and we have been working with Rosatom a lot, with different areas. We, as a Nova Wind, we are the newcomers, and we just making first steps. But you have to say that Tajikistan in wind energy is just in the beginning of it. Let me just explain to you, they have only 5 megawatts power stations. So, and now we are working on the legal issues and laws and regulations. So, well, we had our own experience and tries and errors. And again, to sum up again, I believe that in the nearest future we'll be able to build up a good relationship with the government of the Tajikistan Republic. And let me just boast that I hope I will be able to boast and to show you new projects with a good quality, and I'm just looking forward to the time when we can start working on specific projects. So that's basically it. Thank you very much for participation, for being here. No roundtable. If you have any questions, go ahead. I am ready to answer either now or after session. Dmitry, thank you very much. Well, you just said quite rightly that as for the wind energy and as for the other projects and industrial park, Tajikistan is in its very beginning of this kind of work, and we see that we see what we can do, where we go, and Rosatom works in different directions, electric energy and regulations. Yeah, we will help you in the nearest future to organize a meeting with the interested ministers, Minister of the Water Resources. And the second thing is that we have to understand how to monetize how to commercialize the projects, and those representatives who we have here, who have will talk today, we see how it can be done in this branch of renewable resources energy, and all projects definitely must have either investment attractiveness but of course we have to understand how to return the money back after investment, how it can be done differently. But this project must be pretty clear and pretty transparent in terms of making money, commercialization, and we work together with other participants of the market, and we are basically proposing the projects which are very easy to understand in terms of getting money back. So yes, we are looking forward to seeing you. We are looking forward to meeting with the interested parties in Tajikistan. All right, okay, so now what else I want to say is that about our next speakers, it's an international cooperation from the viewpoint of the balance between competition and cooperations, and traditionally this kind of economy work together, and they create useful and safe predictable connections. So according to the program of the Internationalization Republic, in terms of organizing new companies, new businesses in middle term and long term future, so we are thinking about new technological directions, among which the machine building and or organizing production of the electric vehicle. And we plan to intensify our cooperation, and it can lead to, can give our both countries a lot of benefits, and this of course will help us to increase the trade turnover. And our next speaker is a commercial director of Akia Vesta company and automotive industry. So this is the first and only company in Tajikistan which makes electric buses. And here in this project, our cooperation is quite profound, and I hope that my colleague will tell us about it. But just a few words that in this project, cooperation can be even more profound. And of course, we talk about Rosatom, which in their structure has some companies which develop such technologies, and so cooperation can be even more efficient. So, but now it's okay. And so, Jalil, please. Can you hear me? Yes. And dear participants of forum, ladies and gentlemen, I'm very happy to see you. Pawan, hello. So let's start. So during the independence of Tajikistan, the fleet of buses became obsolete. Most of them were written off because they were not safe, and we didn't have spare parts to restore them. So population of the country is growing. It has been growing from 5 million to 10 million for the last 30 years. So we didn't have enough buses to provide the passenger traffic. So we needed to provide Dushanbe and other big cities with the buses. And so we, with the support of the Republic of Tatarstan, in 2018, Tajik Avesta Group Company and Taki Company, they organized a joint venture company in order to start production of modern Akia buses. So Akia, the only company in Uzbekistan which is produces buses according to the international standards. Buses which we produce fit the Euro 6 and Euro 5 ecological standards, and they are equipped with the units from Mercedes, Bosch, Brist, and CITL companies, the most advanced automobile companies. Now we have about 400 diesel buses and 30 buses, electric buses, and that's they all serve the needs of the transportation. In 2023, we started using 41 8-meter buses in order to improve our economy and follow standards of ecology production. The government of Republic of Tatarstan adopted a program for development of the transportation until 2028. So Mayor of Dushanbe will approve the special plan for development transportation of Dushanbe until 2028. So we also decided to add new buses to the fleet and increase it up to 700 buses. Until 2024, all spare parts and units we got from Turkey in order to increase the competitiveness of the spare parts and localization of production. During a short period of time, we organized local production of some of the units and spare parts for the our buses. Nowadays we work together with such companies as Tibeka Yekaterinburg, which supply us with the passenger seats. We also work with the Sveza companies from St. Petersburg, and this company ships us the plywood, high quality for the floors of our buses, which is high quality and reasonable price. Borg company from Nizhny Novgorod, they supply us with the windshields. And we also work with the company Renera. It's a sister company of Rosatom, to get batteries for our buses and replace the old ones. We plan to buy 104 of these batteries. I also would like to say that working together with Russian companies, we do have some difficulties. Maybe it's connected with the situation in the world, but I will just give you some examples. With small volumes of buying spare parts, we are not interesting for the big manufacturers. It happened many times, but we don't know any results. Second is the lack of flexibility when you have negotiations with somebody, and we know that sometimes this bureaucracy takes long time to consider the application. To Mr. Abramian Rafael. So first of all, thank you very much for the organizers and for us as for big business, but we are newcomers for Tajikistan. It's a very useful event because we're talking about the financial support, and it's always important to learn and know more. And of course, this kind of event gives us pretty broad opportunities. And, well, first of all, let me prove again that we see the future, the promising future for our work in Tajikistan, and the preliminary analysis together with the local partners. So they just assured us that it's the right way, and we're very serious about going on this market, and we see our advantage in that our brand and our service is quite familiar for Tajikistan people. People understand what possibilities and what kind of quality of service and access to what kind of services our platform gives, and people are looking for it. And so we are sure that we'll find our clients, our consumers, our market. We understand how to solve logistics problems, and we understand how we have to build our partnership relationship so that our work turn out to be mutually beneficial and efficient. Well, we talk about e-commerce. First is something virtual. People think in the platform itself, as we understand, its IT platform is virtual. Yes, it's true. But the economic effects and the social economic effects, they're quite tangible, and that's what our experience tells us. And for example, in Tatarstan, we have been working for a long time. The matter is that our model presupposes having a fully fledged ecosystem, business ecosystem around places where we work. I mean the multiple partners, logistics partners. It's basically a small and medium business. And I'm talking about the owners of the our outlets, and mostly these are the outlets organized by the small businesses, then the sellers who sell products either on the market or exported. Usually these are the local business communities. So the marketplace, it shapes up, and hundreds and hundreds new companies, medium, small businesses, and which are based on this kind of cooperation in our platform. And this is what we do, and this is what kind of role we play, and this is, of course, impacts the economical indicators, let alone the fact that we, as international, as it was said already, as international company, we are international platform, and we are the network which provides a different level of access to international markets for local producers and for local export. We're talking about medium, small business, and so our experience shows that our evaluation based on the experience of other countries shows that, well, textile industry has a promising future. We understand that and some other products. So it's can be very, very good starting points, and we are in just beginning of this, and we believe that thanks to support of our institutes of development and our Tajikistan partners, and based on what we have, we'll be able next year to open our first logistics, first elements of our infrastructure.
In the city of Dushanbe and all around. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Rafael Mikhailovich. We are impatiently waiting. We understand that this consumer market would indeed start seeing explosive growth as soon as water race comes to Tajikistan. Well, dear colleagues, we have passed the middle of the equator of the session. We are having some more sessions and presentations ahead. We understand that we are having quite a lot of things to be mentioned. The next dimension that we need to mark is one of the leaders of the economy, almost 22%. That is metallurgy, aluminum. Tajik Aluminum Company, Telco, is a flagship body in the production of aluminum, one of the most important taxpayers. As it was already said, aluminum as an industry is quite prospective, and that's an area for foreign investment that was being done in the number of projects, including into the Russian enterprise. Uzatem Kartex is actively working on the supplying of electrolyzers by Talca. I'd like to give the floor to Dick Paul Ivanovich, Director for Economy and Personnel of Talca. Paul Ivanovich, would you please? Yes, hello, assalamu alaikum. Dear participants, dear Evgeny Anatolyevich, dear guests and colleagues, I believe that this welcoming would sound well for the forum titled Russia Islamic World. I will be speaking in more detail on the project that was mentioned by both Mr. Evgeny Anatolyevich as well as the Najibullah. As I said, this is one of the largest companies in Talco. Italco Group has over 8,000 and 5,000 people are working at Tajik Aluminum Company by itself. Talco is the first Tajik brand of the world scale. Is the, let's call it the business card of the Tajikistan economy, contribution to national economy. Well, quite serious. Our enterprises are generating 25% of exports and 20% of foreign exchange coming into the country. At the moment, due to the aluminum market is coming back, London Stock Exchange information is showing great figures, so the management is intending to be increasing production. Aluminum at the stock exchange is trading about $2,500 per ton. This is the highest indicator for the period beginning February 2023. It's also important to know that investors are showing interest to aluminum industry against the background of market conditions, because this is the market niche that is seen quite prospective. To increase the volume of production, we started an interaction between Tajik Aluminum Company and Ustem Cartex. As a result, after a number of stages of negotiations, we have achieved agreements on production and supply of 200 sets of metallic covers for aluminum electrolyzers, with a total figure of about 1.5 billion rubles, Russian rubles. Upon completion of negotiations between the leadership of the companies and understanding the production sites of Talco, a joint decision was made on implementing this project within the shortest time frames possible. Important to know that the electrolysis baths for the electrolyzers are quite the same. Voluminous, space-taking objects. You can only supply them in a decomposed structure. Thus, our team, having studied all the conditions and the requirements for welding works, has issued positive conclusion and confirmed the possibility of electrolysis baths assembly by the local specialists on our production sites. I would like also to state that the aluminum electrolysis bath consists of the fire protective cover. It has various blocks, frames for anodic frame, etc. And to speed up the implementation of that project, the parties are in the process of total composition of respective units, so that supply was broken down into two batches, 100 and 100. The launch of the first 100 electrolyzer would allow us to increase the capacity of aluminum production by 30,000 tons. That's a calculation of extra 100 electrolyzers operating throughout the year, plus second stage, 38,000 tons again, so it's altogether plus 76,000 tons of aluminum a year. That would allow us to lower the price cost of the produced aluminum by the company. That would allow us to bring in additional currency income of the company, increase our payments into the state budget, as well as increase the interaction between two countries, Russia and Tajikistan. And I'd like to state that against the background of the current market conditions, the project has great prospects and is quite profitable. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you very much. We hope to see that this project will be implemented with the support of Russian Export Center and XR company as an insurance company. We have talked about this, and we are seeing a respective synergy in the development of the Russian of the modernization of Tajik facility, participation of Russian financial institution, Russian enterprise participating. It would be a totality with achievements, and then towards the end of the presentation of our session, I would like to give the floor to mining industry of the Republic of Tajikistan. We've been talking about the diversity of the natural resources. 90% of the land cover of Tajikistan is mountains, and that is a great potential for the development of economy. Tajikistan has disclosed over and partially prepared 600 potential extraction sites. The Tajikistan is proud in lead, salt, whatever, zinc, etc. But some assessments state that the natural resource, only 1.5 to 1.7% of the available natural resources have been extracted. So going forward, so looking at silver, wolfram, coal, lead, etc., and understanding the prospects, Russian companies are, of course, having interest in power cooperation. Spirit, scientific production companies, the developer of technology and equipment for the processing mineral resources, and we would invite the leader, the director of technology innovation of Spirit, Mr. Evgeny Prokofiev. May I please have a clicker, gentlemen? To begin with, let me start by thanking the organizer of the whole forum, as well as Evgeny Anatolyevich as the trade representative of our country in Tajikistan. I am thankful to all those who are with us here offline, as well as all the previous speakers for wonderful, very interesting presentations. I'm from the city of Irkutsk. Spirit company is 25-year-old. It started based on the geology institution. Games at the moment we are doing research on the full spectrum of mineral resources. We are having among clients such large clients such as Rosatom, titanium field producing gold, coal, Tom Solidar. We are also members of Scientific Educational Center Kuzbas, and then jointly in line with the state contract, we are doing research on the processing of technogenic waste of coal enrichment, and we are part of the state program Clean Coal, Green Kuzbas. As part of the enterprise, we are having a geology dimension. We are working with the noble metals from technogenic resources, studying their resources using mineralogy methods. The company has an enrichment lab using all methods of separation: physical, magnetic separation, gravitational separation, flotation. We are located at the Institute of the Earth Core of the Institute of Russian Academy of Sciences. Their research is done both on state contracts as well as on commercial participation with various structures. On these slides, you are showing technological provision of Irkutsk unit of ours. You are seeing such a detailed study of the matter composition And unless you study the matter composition, you can't go anywhere further in technology. We have recently launched the analytical lab for identification of the share of noble metals in ores and sands, and we are trying to organize them in various provisions or steps before we introduce them at various facilities. You are seeing the respective device we are using for identification of the share of gold and silver. We are having production site at Sherikhov-Irkutsky district, not far away from the city of Irkutsk, producing unique equipment from the point of view of gravitation, no enrichment. Those are screw gravitators. The next presenter will be my colleague, Mr. Mortazo Navotovich Himatov. He'll be speaking about the introduction of this in Republic of Tajikistan, in Russia, in Uzbekistan, in Madagascar, everywhere such units are used at extraction of various mineral resources, beginning from gold to chromites to to sands used for glass production. On the left, you are seeing Valorossia, the city of Mirny, at extraction of diamonds, and on the right, Vodov Magnitogorsky metallurgy plant. We are working on the post-enrichment materials. I'm talking about geology. Geology is important. That would be the topic of our joint presentation about technogenic developments in Russian Federation. Yakutia, we have got some 500 kilograms of gold from technogenic creations using modern set of methodology, using all the necessary documentation, territorial soils, subsoils, etc. Such large units that are allowing you to work over 5,000 tons of ore, extracting the noble metals, gold in particular. In case of Magadansky district, we have introduced a relatively small unit that allows you to extract gold-containing concentrate that is then returning to the enrichment factory and is serving as a new resource for golden production. At Almazy Anabar company, our technology is being introduced as well. Once again, about gold. These are magnesium ores. Why? We are trying to get people interested not only about gold, we are talking about the manganese and other things that are not being yet processed in the Republic of Tajikistan. This next presentation, I will be speaking about the accumulated sets of matter of gold extraction that are accumulated in Russia and the nearby countries. We would be introducing something similar, but at a greater amount in the Republic of Tajikistan. And Mr. Himatov will be speaking about that later. We are working in education field in Irkutsk region. Last year we have organized a new lab on the enrichment of ores for new sites in Bodevinsky, Krasnoyarsky district. Well, it's not a secret. We are always having a demand for staff, and the enrichment it's even higher. And we are very happy to see such companies as Polius are coming with us into education, training of our staff working on enrichment. You are having a link to the channel of our company on QR code. Mr. Himatov, necessary, I'll be happy to help with slides, whatever. And then let us immediately introduce General Director of Technology Korkar, the partner of the Spirit Company. And we are seeing joint projects, activation of joint projects with Russian participation in the development of mining sector of Republic of Tajikistan. Hello, everybody. It's the first time I'm taking part in such a forum. We were invited by the trade representative of the Russian Federation in Tajikistan, Mr. Evgeny Korenkov. Thank you very much for the opportunity. We liked the city of Kazan very much. Speaking about our business, open sources demonstrate that the subsoil of Tajikistan are being used by about 2%, or possibly 1.5, 1.7. Maybe can be explained maybe due to that might be justified by the lack of significant amount of investment into the mining industry from the point of view of Tajikistan. Mining industry created in Soviet Union times was directed at satisfaction of the total needs of the Soviet state and was serving to provide natural resources for the processing enterprises of different republics after Soviet Union decomposition. The products of mining industry of Tajikistan, the output was often not having demand, and the Republic of Tajikistan is having quite a lot of resources for the long-term prospects.
But now Republic will have a lot of mountains like Tian Shan and Pamir, and the problem of the further development of geological investigations and rational use of these resources is still one of the most important spheres of economical independence. Most of the resources in the Republic of Tajikistan, they have a lot of gold mines, gold resources, and so we're talking about the northern part of Tajikistan and Ferganskaya Depression. And apart from these deposits on the Republic of Tajikistan, we have a lot of mineral resources as well. The leader of our nation, President Rakhmonov, he defined main vectors of the development of the mining industry, and he defined the rational usage of the resources of our country and the processing of different kinds of mineral resources. During last several years, we have accumulated a significant amount of waste, technological waste, with very high content of lead, silver, and gold. Well, we have selected several samples and we send them to Irkutsk, and the additional research showed that using gravitational enrichment we can get the concentrate of the noble metals, with further extracting these metals using the new technologies based on the newly received results. So we have signed a special contract for the special equipment to extract these metals from the waste. And we're now talking about choosing the site with assistance of our specialist. We plan to start work of this company, this production, in June 2024. There will be a production unit, a residential area, and technical services. In March 2024, we took part in the international conference, geological conference organized by the Moscow University. We have very good connections with the head of this branch, and we established contacts with the specialist of Dushanbe University. We have joint plans in the area of mining and recycling the technogenic raw materials, and we also continuously conduct some research work, and so we see quite promising future of this kind of approach. And especially interesting projects are the deposits of the gold ore, and the Korkart company initiated investment project with involvement of these kind of deposits using the gravitational methods, and together with the colleagues of Russian Federation, we organized first production on our republic, which would process the waste, and so will create new jobs for Tajikistan, and will be great impulse for the development of the economy. Well, thank you very much. Well, thank you very much. And dear colleagues, yes. So this project, of course, was very successful. Not all projects, even successful projects in Tajikistan, they start so quickly and get good results. So that's a little bit different approach, and it's just coincidence. And there's initiatives which we haven't. We will help. We will assist these instruments which we have, and in general, dear colleagues, our today's session get to the end, and I would like to say again and thank our speakers that we try to invite our speakers, and thank you very much for being with us. So these are the advanced trends which Russian Federation together with our partners in Tajikistan start to develop, and whatever we talk about, these are new ideas, these are new approaches, so these are important initiatives. So that is why I thank you very much, and I hope that in the nearest future we will continue these projects, and I'm sure we will implement them well. So those of you who are here, we understand it's a big, huge event today, conference. You want to be everywhere. Thank you very much for your patience. Thank you very much for being here, and I saw interest to some of our projects. So that is why while you have our contacts, come to us. And so, dear colleagues, if you have any questions, we'll be very happy to answer all of them. And as my colleague said, this forum is a good place to come here and to talk with all of you who we cannot regularly meet in everyday's life. So thank you very much. Have successful negotiations. Have a good time during the next 2 days, and well, good luck. Thank you.